Alright, so in this video I wanted to talk about a very common problem, and it's a problem that has a lot of videos on it on YouTube, but it seems that people still struggle with it a lot, and it's procrastination. There's so many videos on it on YouTube. It seems like it has been solved, but yet it seems like everybody still struggles with it. And I think one of the main reasons why is because most of the solutions or the videos are focused on strategies and tactics and hacks, which in my mind is surface level area. And it's not attacking the underlying root cause. So it's only solving symptoms, right? Which is why a lot of people that do it get results, but it only lasts for a few weeks before they revert back, right? It's because it's only solving the symptom, and it's not solving the underlying root cause. And procrastination is quite a big topic, and it goes very deep, because the reasons why you procrastinate is very specific to you. But on a high level, essentially what it is you running away from certain emotions and fears. So imagine, how can I say this? Like, if you, for certain task, right, that doesn't trigger any fears or emotions in you, you just do it very naturally. Like, it requires no discipline, right? Like brushing your teeth or eating, right? Like, you normally wouldn't procrastinate on those. Like, sure, it still can happen, but for like the big task, right? Why is it that for a certain task, like, you really just start to procrastinate, right? It's because those specific tasks triggers certain fears and emotions in you that the other mundane tasks are not doing. And maybe you're not aware of it, but maybe for you, right, if you're not aware of it, how you experience it is just that, oh, I don't want to do that task. And then you start doing something else. And what's really happening is that task created such an uncomfortable feeling in you, and you want to relieve that tension, or you want to escape that uncomfortable feeling, which is why you start ending up doing other easier tasks, or tasks that feels better, or you may end up just procrastinating, right, going on social media or watching Netflix, because those activities give you a better feeling, right? So that's the first thing to be aware of. Now, if you're aware of it, like what now, right? Okay, there's certain emotions and fears, but what now? What do I do? It still feels it still feels uncomfortable, and I still don't want to do it, right? I would say there are some, this is where some of the strategies and hacks can work short term, because it forces you to push away those fears and emotions and kind of just overcome them, right? Which works in the short term, but you still are not attacking the underlying root cause, which is being more comfortable and welcome the feelings and fear and feel them. And maybe that sounds very weird and maybe not like too good to be true, really. And maybe I need to make another video on it, because it's like when you get the whole picture, it's very obvious. But if you never like done it, it's hard to understand that. But the reason why is like how most people do it, right? Is they feel the fear or feel the emotion, and they push it away, or they fight it and just push it down, and they do the task, and they manage to do the task, which is cool, right? It works short term. But when you run away from an emotion or push it down, the emotion and fear really never goes away. It will come back, or it will come back in other places in your life because you pushed it down. Like, you never really process it. And the opposite of that, or maybe I can link the saying, the popular saying in psychology is, what you resist persists. So when you resist it, it will persist. It will come back in other ways, and it will really never go away. So that's why welcoming and feeling the fears or emotions that arise in you works so well, because it's the opposite of that. And you might not realize this if you haven't done it, but after you welcome and feel the fear and emotions fully, and allow it to move throughout your body fully, that is when you gain more clarity, and the procrastination starts to dissolve. Because the fear and emotions that the task triggered in you to make you procrastinate, it's now processed, you can say. It's now felt all the way through. And maybe it still triggers some fears and emotions in you, but you'll notice that every time you manage to stay in those fears and emotions and feel it fully, it will trigger less and less. Whereas if you push it down, right, you can manage to do it, but it will come back as strong or even stronger, or it will pop out in other parts of your life. So that's why procrastination is that's why it almost happens for everyone. It's very, very specific and deep, because it's very specific to your fears and emotions, and exactly what fears and emotions that task triggers in you. right? But just to name some common ones, right, is, fear of failure, fear of judgment, feelings of shame, feelings of embarrassment. And to maybe take one of those as an example, right? Let's say fear of failure, right? The task that you want to do and you procrastinate on, let's say it triggers fear of failure in you. If you're not aware of it, right, you will only experience, oh, it's uncomfortable, I don't want to do it, and then you start doing something else. And if you are aware of it and you use the method where you like push it down, you're like disciplined, it can work in the short term, but every time you get back to the task, the fear of failure will still be there. It might be stronger now because you resist it so hard, it comes back even stronger. Or it might, it would still pop out in other areas of your life, the fear of failure, right? Because it doesn't go away, right? And as I said, you try to use discipline, but you will eventually burn out. It's not sustainable. But if instead you simply felt that fear in your body, or if you welcomed it and felt it, the opposite of resisting, right? You just allow it to move in your body. You just allow yourself to feel it without contracting your muscles. That is when you allow it to move and process. And on the other side of that is more clarity, you can say. Because you processed the feeling of failure. And since you processed it, now you're not that afraid of failure anymore because you felt it. You allowed yourself to feel it. And the more you do this, the more you welcome and feel the fear that arises without constricting it or pushing it away, the less uncomfortable you will feel, the less discomfort really you will feel from doing the task. Because now you're not afraid of the feeling anymore. You felt it, you welcome it, right? So you're not afraid of the feeling. So if the feeling comes up, it wouldn't be that uncomfortable for you anymore. And now you can do whatever that task you wanted to do with a lot more clarity and calmness and confidence. So that was very conceptual, again, as my usual videos. But yeah, I hope it made more sense after listening to that. If anything was unclear, or if there's anything you want to hear me talk more about in terms of this topic, feel free to just comment and ask below. I'm very intrigued by the topic, since it's, it happens to everyone, and it's so, it's so deep, you can say, and really understanding it will transform your life, right? So yeah. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.